Alright. I give up. This is so boring. What am I even supposed to talk about here? You kill a bunch of stuff and you get mats. That's it. What jokes can you even make with that? I just wish there was an event with some excitement, you know? Like GudaGuda. Those were some fun times. But that ended with Final Honuji, so there's no more of them.
Welcome to the rice fields, mother.
That wasn't the last one, was it? When it comes to most of these event guys, I try to not spoil myself on the story. So all the information that I know is either from the TVCM or the event prompt. So when it came to this event in particular, all I really know is that we're in the past. Nobu's Divine Boom emoji. Some Shinsengumi stuff goes down. And someone gets punched. Our adventure this time takes place in the ancient land of Yamatai Koku, which was a country based in Japan from the 1st to the 3rd century. Your main goal for this event is to help the village of Yamatai by upgrading the various facilities around the village and harvesting the resources from them. Most of the stations have 3 tiers of upgrades to them, providing better resources as you go up, and you can harvest them every 8 or 12 hours depending on the facility. We got all the essentials we need for a growing village, like paddy fields, houses, barley field, a workshop, and a midden. Alright, there's one more building in part 2 of this event. It's the, Oh, a 10-story granary in 1st century Japan. Now you go about upgrading these buildings with these 3 new materials that drop on certain stages. These items are purely for upgrading and are not related to the 3 other materials that you use to purchase things in the event store. If you've been playing for a while, this should remind you of the Enmate event. And they're also similar in the fact that you need specific servants to have a drop bonus for the materials. There are no CEs that would increase the drops for these mats. The brand new servants for this event will increase all 3 of these materials. I'll talk more about those servants at a later time. Now there are 2 ways you can go about this event. You can take this event real slow because it is a time-gated event. Or you can farm up all the mats and upgrade everything. Because why would I want 2 4-star EXPs every 8 hours when it could be 2 5-star EXPs instead? All you need to do is farm 490 thatches, 540 logs, and 510 clay. I hope you got the apples for that. Anyways, another big reason why you should be pretty quick with this event is cause part 2 has a raid. And it's not a self-raid like in Summer 3, we're talking about an actual raid event. You know, the ones that are really worth farming because they're very efficient for materials, drops, and QP. Oh, and by the way, the Rider one in particular drops both eggs and steaks. Is it a bad time to ask again if you still have apples? Again, I need to ask, who plans out these events? Cause we still got this thing in 3 months. These raid bosses do have a decent chunk of HP, so it helps out that this event provides a damage bonus to certain servants. It's mainly servants who are involved with GudaGuda. Also, the event CE, Himiko's Leisure, provides the usual 200% damage bonus at max limit break. It buffs crit damage and further buffs crit damage for buster cards, for a total of 35% for buster. It even provides a 50% MP charge at max limit break, so that should help with any 1-turn comps you plan on bringing to the raids. You can buy 4 copies at the shop like always, and you just gotta pray the 5th one drops while farming. Now another thing to note about these raid bosses is that they're a lot more annoying than they usually are. Like most raid events give their bosses some kind of starter turn buff, but look at this. Like, burns and curses, manageable. Guts, a little annoying, but still workable. But then we get shit like 2-hit invuln, 3-turn evade, start of battle NP drain, and chance to buff nullify? Yeah, fuck that. On top of all the building upgrades and raid bosses, this event also has missions. Thankfully, they're not the annoying 100 missions that we usually get. Instead, we get 30 missions this time around, and most of them are just things you were going to do anyway. None of them are the tedious specific missions we get sometimes, like hunting 30 Nobus on a burning field on a Wednesday with a Saber ally. Try to finish all these missions for the rewards, especially missions 19, 20, and 22, because that's where you can get the command codes for the event. Chibi-Nova gets a very slight crit damage buff that generates a star, so I don't really know how much you can work with that, but it's what we got. Demon King Gun has the issue of having a very specific requirement for a buff that's not even guaranteed. Not only do you need to be on a burning field for it to work, but you need to actually land a crit for the crit damage buff to mean anything. Maja-san is actually a really good command code because it not only provides a crit damage buff, but also increases crit star absorption so you have nice synergy. You don't need to put it on a crit DPS servant. You can simply use the command code more for its crit star absorption increase so that you can more consistently crit with certain cards. Like Hassan's or Super Ryan's single arts card to generate a ton of MP on crit, for example. Like always, there are the standard 3 materials that you can farm up so you can use them in the shop. There are clams, a bell, and a mirror. I've seen this somewhere before. Where have I seen this? Oh, that's where. As per usual, you can increase the drop for these materials with the banner CEs. Golden Prairie is the 3-star CE for this event. It buffs quick and increases health restoration. Nothing much else to note except that this is a brand new addition to our collection of GudaGuda CEs that have Medusa on it. Fine Day is a crit star bomb CE, but because it's a 4-star CE, the amount of stars just goes up by 2 when you max limit break it. The MP buff also doesn't really work for a star bomb CE because usually you just slap this on a support or a taunter. Finally, we have Firefly's Flames of Integrity. It gives arts and quick up along with an overcharge increase. Overall, I think it's pretty solid, and more importantly, that art is really rad. Who drew this? Ah, that explains a lot. There are 2 more CEs for this event, but these are just EXP CEs that you can get through the shop, free quests, or the friend point banner. So now's a good time to use that massive pile of friend points you've been hoarding up. There's also another reason why you should start using your friend points, but we will talk about him at a later time, which is right about now. Normally when it comes to these events, I only really need to talk about 1 banner, but this banner is a little different because I need to talk about 3. Now yeah, I know, technically this banner is not part of the event, but I'm going to count it anyway because Okita is getting a new Spiritron dress during this event. The new costume is similar to her stage 3 outfit except for a few changes here and there, and you unlock it near the end of the event's story, so try not to miss it. Going back to the friend point banner now, this event adds Oda Nobukatsu to this banner. Nobukatsu is very devoted to his sister. And I don't mean devoted as in he'll build an altar to worship her. No, wait, what am I saying? He definitely would do that. I mean devoted as in he literally dies for her. He even mirrors Nobunaga's various forms through his ascensions. He copies normal, summer, demon king, naked. Nobukatsu provides all the things that were lacking in Demon King Nobu's kit. He's essentially Nobu's rank up quest in the form of a servant. His first skill reduces buster resistance, which every Nobu has as their main card type. His second skill provides stars and a crit buff to all allies, but it also specifically gives Nobu's additional buffs for crit damage and crit star absorption, which were both buffs that Demon King Nobu was lacking in. And finally, his third skill allows him to taunt, gain more NP when attacked, and provides a heal on death, which can help alleviate the heavy burn that Nobu inflicts on herself. Finally, his NP provides an NP charge to allies along with a buster up. He provides an additional buster up to Nobu's, and alright, he also game ends himself. Quick tangent, I didn't recognize at first who his voice actor was until he started screaming in pain. Oh, that's Deku. Besides his kit, however, there's another reason why a lot of people are talking about him and this banner. Nobukatsu is essentially a grail printer. First, later on this year, we're gonna get an update to the servant coin system where we can exchange servant coins for holy grails. This sounds very nice, amazing even, but then you notice the conversion rate is in 2,000 coins to 1 grail. Now, this sounds hopeless to most free-to-play players, but this is where Nobukatsu comes in. Normally, when you summon a 1-star servant, you would get 2 coins, but because he's a limited 1-star, he actually gives 15 coins, the same amount as a non-limited 3-star. Now, obviously, 15 is not a lot, and you would need to pull roughly 134 Nobukatsus for 1 grail. But considering the fact that the EXP cards are also being added, this event period is the best time to use your friend points for the most profit. And with the number of friend points some of you might be hoarding, that's a lot of cups. Finally, we arrive at the main banner for this event, which gives us both Saito Hajime and Himiko. Saito's first skill, Freely Drawn Sword B, gives him arts and buster up for 3 turns along with a burst of crit stars. His second skill, Eye of the Mind True B, is his defensive skill which provides a 1 turn of evade and 3 turns of defense. And his last skill, Invincible Sword A, increases his attack and critical damage for 3 attacks for 3 turns. The 3 attack thing is a bit annoying, but then again you can't argue with 100% crit damage. Finally, his NP is a single target arts NP that reduces crit chance and art resist for 3 turns. It should be pretty evident from this kit that he's a 4-star, single target, arts based, crit DPS saber. Why does this keep happening? So a question that might pop up in your head is who's the best between them? And my response would be, who cares? He looks very fucking cool. And it seems a lot of people agree, cause in a recent poll of which servants have been grailed to level 120 the most, Saito was ranked number 1 in the 4-star pool. And now we move on to Himiko. Alright, if you notice I went through Saito's section a little quickly back there without going into a lot of details. It's mainly cause I didn't want a certain meme to make another cameo in this. When it comes to rulers, you got your DPS types and your support types. Himiko is a blend of both, as in she supports herself to be the DPS. The name of the game is Buster Crits and Himiko does it well. Her first skill, Shamaness's Charisma B, gives her party an attack buff and gives each member a buff to generate 8 stars a turn, so 24 in total. With a double Himiko support, you would basically have guaranteed crits for 3 turns. Her second skill, Kido A, is where we start seeing that Buster DPS side of her. It provides a Buster up, increased damage to demons, and some defense in a 1-turn invuln. And finally, her last skill, Oracle's Brilliance A, is a 50% MP battery while also increasing her Buster card star absorption and crit damage. And we're talking a real meaty crit damage up. But even though that crit damage buff is very tantalizing, you should prioritize the MP charge more. Mainly cause you really want to spam her NP, which is a big reason why she's so good. Her NP is a Buster support NP that buffs the party's Buster performance and crit damage, but more importantly, gives the party 2 stages of overcharge. Now we've always seen overcharge before, it's always shown up on skills or on CEs, but we've never seen it on something as spammable as an MP. It synergizes with her own kit because it increases her crit damage buff, but it gets even crazier when you start MP chaining. So let's say you chain a bunch of MPs with Himiko's as the first and everyone started with 100% MP charge. The second MP in the chain would be at 400% overcharge due to the overcharge buff they just got and due to the fact that they were the second in the chain. And the third MP would be at 500% overcharged for the same reason. You can take this information in 2 ways. You can either do A, a lot of damage, or B, take no damage. By the way, this team in particular, yeah, this is very cringe, which is why I'll also be doing it. Besides gameplay reasons, however, there's also one other big reason why you should summon for Himiko, and that's her amazing song that she sings.
Himiko, Himiko, Himiko. Himi, Himiko, Miko, Himiko.
I will also be summoning for her because I also like big numbers. And depending on how I like her from the story, I might try chasing more copies. Anyways, that's about it. There is a challenge event, but considering all the damage bonuses we get, I didn't think it was that hard. And it's definitely not because I ran out of time. Yeah, all that's left is to prepare for the next event, which is Imaginary Scramble. What's that even mean? At least I have this conveniently placed candle.